2016, Eddie Griffin said, if Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa. Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez, still here. And it doesn't look like migrant traffic is going back. Gosh, it almost seems like the world is full of suffering, intolerance, and oppression on a scale we can't imagine. But that can't be true, because if it was, we'd be protesting it. It must only happen in Israel. And if, for your exile, you do wind up in some comparatively luxurious place like Canada or Japan or the UK, not that they want you, at best, you'll be trading a bunch of stuff you hate about this country for a bunch of stuff you'll soon hate about your new home.
Bill Maher has once again taken aim at woke Hollywood and the political elite, and this time, the hypocrisy is harder than ever to ignore. For years, celebrities and left-leaning figures loudly claimed they would leave America if Trump ever returned to power. They didn't whisper it. They didn't hedge it. They said it boldly as if they meant every word. But now that the moment has come and gone, what actually happened? Almost nothing. They're still here, still talking, still benefiting from the same country they describe as unbearable. And once Maher stepped in, this stopped sounding like frustration and started sounding like a full exposure of performative outrage. So if you're ready, let's break it all down.
To run for office in America, you have to want to live here. I bring this up because there was a video that made the rounds recently by a woman who said she was a proud progressive and was running for state representative in New Hampshire, and yet posted this.
Is there a place we can move that people would be happy to have us, that we're not gentrifying or colonizing? I don't want to be a problem, but I need to get the out of this country.
The out of this country? The one you want to be elected to a leadership position in? What was your campaign slogan? America, a shining shithole on a hill?
Maher's opening point is simple, but it hits hard. If you want to lead America, you should probably want to live in it. That should not be controversial, yet somehow today it is. Again and again, we see people paint the country as broken while asking voters to hand them more power within it. That contradiction is difficult to defend. On one side, America is framed as morally exhausted and beyond repair. On the other, those same voices still want influence, status, and control. That's not courage. That's inconsistency dressed up as principle.
Now, does America have big problems? Yes, I've often cited the America list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation in government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet, not by a long shot, and we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it. Maybe the problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it.
Now, does America have real problems? Of course it does. Issues like healthcare rankings, literacy concerns, and representation gaps show there is work to be done. And yes, any country can decline to a point where leaving becomes understandable. But we are not there, not even close. What's needed is not people quitting, but people willing to stay and improve things. Maybe the issue is not that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the issue is that too many people lack perspective and don't realize how good they actually have it.
59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing. I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave?
Maher doesn't hold back here. He goes straight at the mindset behind it. The problem is not criticism itself. Every country deserves scrutiny. The real issue is the loss of perspective. Too many voices speak as if America is uniquely terrible, uniquely oppressive, uniquely hopeless. But that idea falls apart the moment you compare it to how much of the world actually lives. That's what makes the rhetoric feel dishonest. It's not balanced. It's exaggerated. Every flaw is amplified and then presented as the whole truth.
Just like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday.
This is where the hypocrisy becomes even more obvious, especially when immigration is discussed. Many of these same voices promote America as a land of opportunity, freedom, and a better future for newcomers. They support policies that make it easier for people to come and build a life here. Fine. But then those same individuals talk as if they personally cannot wait to leave. So which version is real? Is America a place worth coming to or a place worth escaping from? You can't sell it as a dream to the world while describing it as a nightmare for yourself. That contradiction sits at the center of the argument.
I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, if Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa. Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez, still here. And it doesn't look like the migrant traffic is going back.
Then there are the celebrities, where things become even more ridiculous. The pattern is familiar. A Republican wins, a celebrity reacts emotionally, and suddenly there's another bold promise to leave the country forever. We've heard it from Miley Cyrus, Eddie Griffin, and George Lopez. Big statements, big headlines, big reactions. But once the moment passes, nothing changes. The bags stay unpacked. The dramatic exit never happens. And that's when it stops being serious and starts looking like pure theater.
There's all the TikToks telling Americans things like,
fucked. I think the new American dream is to leave.
I'm 18 years old and I escaped America.
Yeah, you don't have to escape America. That wall we're always debating isn't to keep you in. The New Republic just ran a story about the vulnerable minorities who want to flee America, including the author, a gay man trapped in the dystopian homophobic hellscape that is New York City. I wonder if he knows that there are 66 countries where just being gay is a crime.
Critics like Maher argue that the goal was never to leave in the first place. The goal was signaling. It was about showing alignment, proving loyalty, and positioning themselves on the right side of the cultural divide. That's why the outrage often feels selective. Under one administration, major issues can arise and the reaction stays quiet. Under another, everything suddenly becomes a crisis. When the standard shifts depending on who's in power, people stop hearing principle and start hearing partisanship.
Gosh, it almost seems like the world is full of suffering, intolerance, and oppression on a scale we can't imagine. But that can't be true, because if it was, we'd be protesting it. It must only happen in Israel. And if, for your exile, you do wind up in some comparatively luxurious place like Canada or Japan or the UK, not that they want you, at best, you'll be trading a bunch of stuff you hate about this country for a bunch of stuff you'll soon hate about your new home.
Maher also points out something else worth noting, the language itself. This idea of escaping America. Escaping from what exactly? This isn't a closed regime. People are free to leave if they truly want to. They can relocate, start over, and build a life elsewhere if they meet the requirements. So the issue isn't whether they can leave, it's whether they actually mean what they say. And more often than not, they clearly don't.
He always makes the list of great expat destinations because of all those stories on CNN about how you can buy a house in a quaint Italian village for $1, except it's not a house in the way we think of one, as a structure with plumbing and electricity and a roof. When these places were built, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was still straight. Sure, you can spend $100,000 to make them livable, and I'm sure it's no problem to find reliable workmen in rural Italy who you'll then fall in love with, like in Under the Tuscan Sun, but...
This is where the argument becomes even stronger. Many people romanticize life in other countries without acknowledging the trade-offs. They see the polished version, the vacation experience, the social media highlights, the scenic views. But every country has its own challenges: economic struggles, cultural differences, legal limitations, and fewer opportunities in certain areas. When people treat other countries as flawless alternatives, they're not being realistic. They're projecting a fantasy.
It took me only 4 days in Amsterdam to learn that while I admire Amsterdam, I don't want to live there. The buildings are cramped and shaped like needles. The food is awful. The TV's in a different language. It's wet and cold. The people are polite but cold, and they do a bunch of weird shit. The explanation for, according to my friend, was just remember they're high.
At this point, Maher's argument goes beyond celebrity reactions. It becomes something deeper. It's about the gap between what people say and what they actually do. If America is constantly described as broken and unbearable, then a simple question follows. Why stay? Why continue building careers, making money, and enjoying influence in a place you claim is so terrible? That's the contradiction Maher keeps highlighting. Real conviction usually leads to action, but here, the pattern repeats. Big statements, big headlines, then silence. The outrage fades and everything continues as normal. Over time, it stops looking like belief and starts looking like performance.